brand new Stir the Pod podcast show. I'm your host, Trevor, and tonight we have Andy. Andy, how you doing tonight?
Good, Trev, good.
And we also have Alex. Alex, how you doing tonight?
Yo, yo, yo.
And we are here with the episode 11. Should we call it 11 or 11.5? Or how should we clarify it with the TBC? 11.75 maybe? I don't know. What do you think?
Is it 10.75?
It might be 10.7. That wasn't even like a full episode. I mean, my initial thoughts to tonight's episode.
Blow me.
The fact that we literally saw that twist in the preview, and that was as far as we got tonight. Like, what did we miss? Like, we could have skipped tonight, I think. But somehow, a person went home. So, Alex, initial thoughts from you. What do you think?
Well, very first thing, Trev, I just got to say I love your shirt. My overall thoughts on the episode, I would say, I would say it was just a weird episode. Like, obviously you get the to be continued, never a good way to end it. I feel like, and we'll get into, everything that happened, but I feel like about halfway in, we were at a good pace. I was ready to say this was a good episode. And then like the second half, just nothing happened. Exactly. I would say this one wasn't, I think we can all agree maybe the worst episode so far of the season would maybe be that trivia one a couple weeks back. I would say this one was not that bad, but it was just perfectly average.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that's a perfect way to describe it. I thought like the episode was flowing fine, and then like the challenge was kind of like, they were kind of going through every single competitor. And I think it was right around the time when they announced the winner, I was looking at my phone and seeing the clock, and I thought the challenge, it was going fast, and I wasn't noticing anything. And then I looked, and I was like, "Oh shit! Like we're not in a good phase. I think the TBC might be near." So, Andy, what was your thoughts?
I mean, this was the definition of Indiana basketball for me. You start off hot, you get everyone sucked in, and then after that first quarter of the episode, it just slowly started going downhill, and then by the end of it, it gets capped off with a to be continued, or in IU's case, a loss. So it started off fine, but I wanted it to be over.
I mean,
Trev, what did you think?
I was fine. I mean, Andy said it well. I think it started off hot. I liked the challenge. I actually really did. I thought one of the best karmas to ever happen on the show. Literally the exact same thing he called them out for. Pretty funny there. But this whole to be continued. I mean, here's the thing with to be continued. I love to be continues. I will die on that. Maybe if I had it as a pick on Mount Rushmore or something, a few episodes back. But the way they did it tonight was just horrible. At least give us an actual tease for it. I mean, we don't know anything about it. At least be like some hint. Oh, we're bringing in mercenaries, let's say. Let's just say that's the twist. And then you see, let's just say, Wes and Bananas walking in and then end the show. At least give us a taste of something. Now I'm worried about this next episode. The beginning of this twist is really nothing. And it's going to be like, what was the point of, doing it? So.
Yeah, like you said, like the way they ended the twist was exactly what they showed us when last episode ended.
Absolutely.
So it's like we really got nothing new. Like obviously we know, that like who the winners were and that Lolo went home and all that. But we didn't get anything new. Whereas whatever the breach is, if they could have just stopped it a minute after that, so we at least gotten to see part of what it is, maybe it ends a little better. And we're
exactly. And I felt like, I mean, it seems like a lot of the comments tonight, Mikey the Doctor, for example, you get an hour and a half and you didn't give us anything. And that's what I kind of felt like. That end was just like, it's like, I felt like they just left something unedited and we were just like, oh, what is going on? But chat is popping. You can follow us on Twitter at Stir the Pod. We are live right now on Periscope and on YouTube. We got our usual suspects back down. Mikey the Doctor, loved by you. Justin's back in the house. Jesse Adams, what is going on? Anything else?
I'll just say real quick before we kind of start getting into the specific parts of the episode. Like, I think the vibes in the YouTube chat are still pretty high. The episode wasn't terrible. and let's have a good recap here. I think we can make something out of this.
Yeah, and one more shout out, that challenger. Sorry, before I get crucified or anything. So let's dive right in, Alex. Where do we even begin? I mean, should we talk about? I mean, I feel like we bring this up every single episode,
but we have to. We have to.
But chalk her up. The streak continues.
Put her on the board.
It was Amber B, right?
Amber B walking in the house first. I mean, that's just classic. I just love. I just picture like her bus, or I don't know how they're transported, but let's just say they take 2 buses and they're just like, you're just kind of like, all right, everybody stop in a straight line. Amber B come first, and then everybody else after.
Partner right behind.
Yeah. So after that, what happened, Alex? We had a little Lolo Jones foreshadowing. Always, I mean, it's been kind of hinted at. I feel like her.
Yeah, I feel like after the streak and before the challenge started, it was just a lot of little girl drama. You had the Lolo and Nam fighting again, and then Gabby and Amber were just kind of talking. Just more fallout from the elimination. Gabby not wanting to go in and voting Amber B in and all that. I feel like not a lot happened before the challenge, and we'll get into, I think, the fact the challenge itself took a while in the episode. Yes, Lolo is an Olympian. People forget that.
Wait,
it was,
what?
Yeah, she is. And she,
like US? Like USA? She's
like,
an athlete?
She plays them on like FIFA or something, right?
Surely.
Real life.
What do you mean real life?
And she wants to win. Regardless of what she did in the last 10 minutes of the episode, and we'll get into that, she wants to win, so she says.
But she quit.
We'll get into that.
Well, if there's one thing about Olympians and athletes in general that we all know is that they love to quit. When the going gets tough, people got to hang it up. That's how you become an Olympian.
One thing I do want to bring up, Andy, if you just, I'm kind of just, poking the bear right here with you. What would you have seen, or what would have happened if TJ would have, Lolo, are you really quitting or anything? What do you think that interaction would have been, Andy?
Well, here's the thing. 5, 6, 7 years ago, he would have came to the house before she left and said, wait a minute, are you really going to do this? Are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to leave your teammate and your partner alone without knowing what's going to happen to him? And are you sure, like, this is it? No, not even okay. It's yeah, let's go. Don't worry. We got you first class. It's a perfect example of what the challenge has gotten to today, where if someone wants to quit, they just pat them on the ass and say, have a safe flight.
I mean, you're not wrong. But we all know you like quitters, right?
We'll
get into that. We'll get
into that.
Big no quitters fan.
We'll get into that. So I think personally we go right to the challenge. I don't think there was a whole lot before the challenge. It was just mainly Lolo, and we'll get into that later. The challenge itself, overall, I want to get your guys' thoughts. Overall, what the challenge was, I'll say it first. I think I was a fan of it. I liked the fact that it was hard. Like some teams, and we'll get into this, did not even finish, didn't even get started. But like for every team that completed it, you would not say that any of them did it easily. Like it was tough. It was a struggle for all of them, but they all had to do it. And it just comes down to who did it the best. And that's what I like about it, is everybody goes separate times. Who has the best time? You're the winner.
Yeah.
This is like a perfect example of, think back to the drones where only one team completed it. This was a perfect example of only 2 teams got DQ'd. And like, it was a good mix of, it was possible. It wasn't easy. An Olympian said that it was the hardest thing she'd ever done. I call total bullshit on that. There's no way. Big T could do it?
Better. Does that make Big T an Olympian?
Get her on the team.
I mean, does that mean Lolo Jones's gold medals are just fraud? Like, Big T could do it.
So Lolo has, a decade plus of Olympic training, and she falls off the rope, whereas Big T in the UK somewhere is on a swim team and that's her training in high school, and she gets first place. So what does that say about the training we have here to be in the Olympics?
That part right there is exactly why I love the challenge. Because even if you are an athlete on paper, you just have to be able to do random shit like this that does require athleticism, but you never know who's going to win.
God.
So you guys like the challenge overall?
Yeah. I liked it. I think everybody kind of got their moments like of the challenge.
It was that fine line of not being too hard where nobody can do it, but not being too easy to where everybody does it and it's kind of a crapshoot.
Absolutely. Andy, I saw you kind of overreacting over something. Was that a comment, or was that just IU basketball down 25 now?
No, I'm not overreacting at that. That's expected. Mikey the doctor saying Lolo lost her boot. You could not have made more. I mean, she was like, yeah, I lost my boot. There's definitely some drag, and that's why I'm upset. No, you just stink. You can't swim. She was swimming sideways doing a back pedal, and it's her boot's fault. I mean, come on. I like the challenge a lot. There were a lot of good moments, Trev, like Lolo doing that, Big T like showing out, the
Devin and Josh.
Devin. I mean, it was. I think this was probably one of my favorite challenges that we've had.
Yeah, and so I wrote down kind of the order that the teams win in, and we'll stop at a few of them, kind of talk about what happened. First one, we all kind of agree that the challenge overall was good. Leroy and Casey, I don't think there was anything to really touch on. I mean, just a good team performance. They finished it and all that. And then Amber and Darrell, same thing. Cam and Kyle, same thing. Like the first three teams started off and they all like did well. It clearly wasn't easy, but they all did well. They all finished. And then the fourth team that went was Josh and Nani. And I mean, at this point, I was like, this has the potential to be a really good episode. Because like, have a good challenge, Josh missing the ropes. Like, it was just hilarious.
Oh, that's when the clown show started coming out. I mean, Josh doing that. I mean, here's something I want to bring up. That challenger just wrote it too. Do you guys think Devin did that on purpose for show? Because he had really nothing to play for, really.
What do you mean?
We could be going home.
Yeah. What?
Well, oh yeah, I'm stupid. I was thinking.
I saw some people on Twitter saying the same thing. So I don't think that challenger is the only one bringing this up. I just don't know what the reasoning.
No, yeah. For some reason, I thought he was safe. I was thinking he won for some reason, and he was in CT's little group. I don't know. Sorry about that.
And if you look too on the ropes were like swinging as you're going to them. And when Devin came up, it was literally going away from him. And I think he just got screwed.
I mean, wouldn't surprise me if he did it on purpose, though. Like, he's that type of person, like, to do – like, some people just do that because they'll be invited back. Or him stirring it up, he knows, like, honestly, his performance this year would probably give him another 2 years on the show, I would say.
At least.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, in the past, Devin was kind of on that borderline of people wanted him out. Now, how he's kind of acted, he's kind of like – I don't want to call him a mini Johnny Bananas, but he kind of is what he's doing.
We talked about this last time. He just seems like a normal challenger. Like, he's not one of these new pussies that they bring in that we have an over-under of 6.5 on how many times they're going to cry. That's the new standard. So, like, just to have some sort of normalcy that Devin brings to the table is why he's one of my new favorite challengers. But
is there, like, anything we can do to, like, knock out these, like, pussies or anything that, like, people actually want to be on the show happen?
Watch it. I've been seeing in the chats, and one of my goals of this episode is I'm going to refrain from going on at least a big rant. I'm not going to go full-blown. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how things progress.
By the way, didn't you make a bet with one of our listeners about Michigan State IU last weekend? I thought that was live on air with somebody.
No? I don't think it was agreed upon.
I have lost way too much money on IU basketball to bet on them again. And I feel like that was my actual response last week too.
Gotcha. All right, Alex, let's get back on the ropes.
All right, so next team. What?
Nothing.
All right. So the next four teams, Anissa and Fessy. Anissa fell off. I think that was predictable. You could have seen that from a mile away. Anissa and Fessy, that was it. They finished in a minute. And then Lolo and Nam. Lolo fell off. She didn't make it to the landing zone, right? Or did she?
I think she did. I think
Yeah.
so.
Oh, yeah, because then she was able to swim all the way. They completed it. They just did really bad at it, right?
Why would she do backstroke?
That's what she was trained to do.
Her boot fell off.
Why would that matter? I mean,
Her plan was all thrown off.
I know if she does freestyle, just kicking the water, it might damage those, gold medal feet, for the 100-meter dash or whatever. So,
Did she mention what she does? Does she do 100-meter dashes? I didn't pick up on that.
No, I have no idea what she does. I know she's an Olympian, but I don't know what is she a sprinter?
Brought that up in the episode today.
I mean, every time she talks, it's like Josh through one ear, out the other. So,
so the next team after them was Devin and Gabby, and we've already kind of touched on it. The fact that Devin wasn't able to get the rope. I feel like Devin handled it as best as he possibly could have. He was smiling, he was laughing at himself. He said like, "Oh, I pulled a Josh," which like was funny, but at the same time, like you did the exact same thing. Like could have said it was a Devin. But I mean, overall, I just the two of those teams failing at the same thing was hilarious, I thought. And then the fact that there was like when Josh and Nani went and they missed the rope, whatever. Devin was laughing at them. They said, "Oh, we're gonna punch him," all that. And then a couple teams later, they like showed Josh and Nani talking to each other side by side, and then they like zoomed out and they were away from the rest of the group,
close, 30 yards away,
like still standing from them. And then I think Nani said like, "Oh, should we go back to stand next to them?" And Josh was like, "No,
nah, I'm good."
He's a little bitch.
God, who was after that?
Last team, Big CT.
Which biggest surprise? I mean, I cannot believe that team won. That was wild. I'm happy for them, honestly. It was good to see that. It was good to see, honestly, CT being like a good partner like that.
Oh, he's done a total 180 from what he used to be. And I kind of thought originally when he was trying to bump up CT, it was somewhat for show. But he like genuinely wants her to like do well and like is actually happy when she performs.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Go ahead.
Like you could see when they won, like he was almost speechless. Like he didn't know what to say. Like he was that like genuinely proud of Big T.
Yeah, he was, and I loved his little line of "I've got my ugly face going," and Big T's just over there smiling. I don't think she's ever not smiling. I'm a big CT or Big T fan. I like Big.
I am too. I think she's great for the show.
She's just always smiling. She's always in a good mood. She's just
happy energy.
She's happy to be there, and even though she knows she's not like one of the best competitors, you can tell she wants to be on the challenge because she has fun doing it.
Did you guys get any sense of like? I like the big CT won. Very happy for them and all that. I almost feel almost in the same way, Trev, where you said like early on, like episode wise, where we like we ended where we knew we were gonna end. Like I almost felt like I just sucked that that big CT was last. You know what I mean? Because it was like when they did so well as the very last team, I was like, why do we even watch the first 7 teams or whatever it was? Because like they did that well. Whereas like if they would have gone in the middle and it would have been harder to see like how the other teams stacked up. And like obviously it was a random order or whatever, but I don't know, that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. No homo. Like just the fact that like they did so well and they were the last team. It was like, why do we even watch the rest of the teams?
Yeah.
But nonetheless, like happy to see them win and their reaction was awesome.
Yeah. So they win. They go back into the house and basically right away, CT's calling out Josh. He's kind of, popping into rooms, going for Josh. What do you think about that move, going for him?
Well, he doesn't want Josh. He wants the goof. I mean, that was just awesome. They literally had the name tag, the goof.
I wish whoever can pull that up, I think that should just be our header for for our Twitter page because that was just so classic. And that's the thing about the produce team. Sometimes they do such a good job with that, music, little things. Even the backgrounds, like when Kara with the Devils or the Holy Trinity or whatever, they do a good job with those editings. But half the time, they don't know how to edit the fucking show itself. It just bothers me with that kind of stuff. Like, they do such a good job with the small things, but I don't know. Sorry, Minnie.
Which shot are you talking about from tonight to be the header?
The one that literally said Josh, and he was like kind of smirking, and it has the goof right next to it.
I must have missed that.
Oh, I literally took a picture of it. I literally said
I saw the bedroom scene where CT was like telling, basically the veterans, like, I want to go in against the goof. And then I remember they showed Josh like sitting on a couch. So you're telling me there's actually something on the screen produced by the challenge that said the goof?
The goof.
Yes. God.
Oh.
It was like a little title, lower third, that literally said the goof.
Oh, I got to go back and see that. Damn it. Yeah, thank you, that challenge.
God.
That was awesome. That was one of my highlights of the episode. But Trev, I think it was a good move because I think if you're CT, you got to put the onus on someone to go in as a house vote. And who would not want Josh? I would take Josh in any challenge. Physical, mental, emotional. I mean, you name it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I like that CT at this point was so, like, he was 100% going in. He made that known to the house, and, like, I like that. And, like, if you think about it, if you're him, why wouldn't you do that? Because basically, even if you don't get what you want in the goof, you're going to have Devin. Like, you're not going to go in there against Fezzi or Darrell or, any of the stronger competitors. You're going to have one of the worst two guys. So why not just basically tell the whole house, I'm going in no matter what. You guys figure out what you want to do, and I'll be able to see your votes and all that. So CT in this second half of the episode, he obviously had the power and he used it to his advantage, I think.
Yeah. Bless you. So then we kind of bring in the whole Lolo being sad again, correct? That was kind of the next thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what else is new?
I mean, Amber talking to Devin, and then we finally get to the deliberation itself. What did you guys think about? I've seen it in the comments tonight and stuff, but what do you think the way kind of Darrell has been?
He's been a pussy. He's playing this like a coward. There's no other way to put it. Seriously, from a political game, from a physical game, he's playing like a coward.
Okay, there's Andy's take.
I mean, that's like the simplest way to put it, but he really is. He's bowing down to these rookies. He's letting them control the game. He's turning his back on someone like CT, who he's known for a while, and they don't have any sort of alliance. Why not start one? We've talked about this before. Like, why not? Why would Darrell not realize on the Big Brother alliance, he's like fifth on the totem pole. But if he went to the other alliance, he would be on the power team, and he would have some sort of say in what happens in the game. He's letting everything happen in front of him while contributing nothing to it. I'm very upset with Darrell. I hope he turns it around. And like with this game, he could sneak in somehow in the elimination, get a skull, and win the final. And then maybe it's one of the best seasons ever. But right now, he is playing like a coward, and I don't think there's any way to say differently.
Yeah, and I know people are kind of talking about it in the chat right now. Obviously, they haven't been friends. They've never really worked together. But I feel like this is the time you're both kind of like the OGs, kind of like what what's it called? What he said. No, Ryan McCord, let's not gas him up at all. But
Ryan McCord, get me on the challenge. I love it. I've already been talking to Buter Murray.
I just think he should have given him this bone, basically. He should have thrown him this bone right here. Because then it shows CT, okay, I can trust Darrell, and realistically, I'm fine. You think roles reverse, you think CT would have given Darrell a shot here?
I think so. Yeah.
I think CT would have given Darrell. If Darrell was like, I want, what's his name? Josh.
The goof.
You don't think so or no?
No, you said Josh. His name's the Goof.
God, no. My bad. The Goof. I want the Goof. Do you think that would have happened or no?
I think he would have, especially if he would have asked for it, which going back to Darrell, I think we've talked about this a couple times, and he's played it like a pussy. And the thing is, we don't like to say that because we're all Darrell fans. So it's not like we're excited about
to win.
Yeah,
He's number one.
It's not like we're excited about saying that. It's just we're saying what we see. And you think about it, I think if you think about how the votes ended up playing out, I think if you were to ask Darrell, like at this moment in the game, which side he had picked, I think honestly he would say none. Like I think the reason he ended up going sort of the big brother side was because his partner is on that side. And so like, in the votes, we basically, see, which is what we're talking about, the fact that Darrell was right down the middle. Is he going to go with CT and the vets or the big brother and all that? And I think his whole mindset, his whole challenge career, and definitely this season, is I'm going to do as middle of the road as I can. And in this case, it's stick with my partner, which, screwed over CT and all of that and sided with big brother people he doesn't know at all. And kind of going back to just what we've said about him in the past, it's like playing the middle and refusing to make moves could work on the challenge 10 years ago. At some point in this era of the show, you're going to get exposed. You're going to get enemies because of it. And that's what this is.
So let me add on to that, because as you're talking through it, a scenario is running right into my head that is similar but a bit different. Landon and Carly, fresh meat too, riding the middle, not upsetting anyone, at some point in time had to pick. Do you want to pick Wes and the mob or Kenny and the underdog team? He went with Wes. Obviously, that's a foolish choice. Who would ever pick Wes over Kenny? Obviously not Teresa. But he went with Wes, and that obviously paid off for him. He won the challenge with Carly as his partner. But here's the difference in that scenario. I mean, that's awesome. The goof lives on. The difference in that scenario with Landon and Carly, Landon is telling his rookie fresh meat teammate what to do. He's the one cutting these deals. Darrell is sitting back and letting a rookie get potentially screwed over by keep in mind, the Big Brother Alliance, a lot of them are not rookies. She is a rookie. So, she's part of that alliance, but she's calling the shots for Darrell. That just makes no sense. And one scene popped into my head today as I was watching this and just watching Darrell. Do you not remember the Darrell that beat the shit out of Brad, literally beat him into a pulp? What happened to that Darrell? And we don't.
He got salt. He got kids. He got a wife.
Yeah, but you don't think that Darrell is hidden down there somewhere? You don't have to come out swinging on people, but where's that fire? Where's that I'm one of the best people here, and I don't care who's going to get in my way. We're going to do it my way. I'm not just going to let all of you dictate my game. Come on.
What do you before I just want you to respond to basically the chat with that little comment there.
Whoa, I'm just now seeing this too. Anyone who's taking Wes over Kenny is delusional. Not only is Kenny there's maybe two things that you could say Wes has over him. Swimming, because I don't know if you guys realize, but Wes is a damn good swimmer and he's obsessed with it. And he might be just a smidge smarter. But Kenny's political game is top-notch. He's hilarious. He's an absolute beast when it comes to competing. If you look at his numbers in terms of how many challenges he was on and how many championships he won, I think he's number one, correct? Percentage of challenges he's won. Is he not number one?
Who?
Kenny, Mr. Beautiful.
I mean, that's for our challenge historian, Boogie Brown, to answer.
I mean, technically, I think it's Carly.
Come on.
But either way, Kenny was, in my mind, Kenny's the perfect mold of who you want on the challenge. He's funny. He likes to have fun. He likes to pull pranks. He's a great competitor, and he's just a good time.
How did we get here?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Hey, Kenny sure did carry Wes up a mountain.
All right. So we talked about the house votes. Let's get back to the house votes, going two different ways. We've talked about Darrell being in the middle and where his vote went, and then I think Trev. I think we touched on it at some point in the episode. Is we got ourselves another Josh cry.
Oh, we can chalk her up. I mean,
Is that 4?
I think it's 4. Andy would know. I think it's 4. I'm almost positive it's 4.
In the over under was 6.5.
Yeah, so I'm kind of getting worried. Well, here's the thing: if he cries,
wait, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, he's fine this week or next week. What do you mean?
I mean, couldn't he end up in elimination?
How?
Wait. Oh, okay, never mind. You're right.
No, it's Devin versus CT.
Because we're convinced
unless the security breach is just fucking stupid and anybody's a free for all at this point. But I do want to bring something up with that security breach that I find interesting.
Go ahead.
Let's talk about it now. I mean, we've kind of
Yeah.
All right. So votes come in. It's going to be Devin and Gabby going in. And then I don't even want to talk about it that much, but the whole Lolo going home, not surprised, whatever. Hope to see another again. The end. But this whole security breach thing, did Lolo vote for which side? Who did she vote for?
Because she voted for Josh and Nani because she was pissed at Big Brother. Because Big Brother didn't help her out. She somehow thought she was in the Big Brother alliance. Like when she was packing her bags, I thought I was in this alliance and you guys didn't help. What are you talking about? How out of touch with social cues are you?
I didn't know if she voted for Devin. I must have missed it because that would have tied the votes then, I would have believed, right? So I didn't know if that was the whole security breach. If she left that vote. Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. If she voted. Oh, no, I'm wrong. If she voted for Devin and Gabby to go into an elimination and she went home, she's leaving, would the votes be the exact same? If you take that vote away.
If I take out the vote?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But she didn't.
It would have been worse.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I don't concern myself with hypotheticals. That couldn't be.
Bro, what you mean?
God.
I'm like, girl. So all right. So just real quick to finish on the Josh cries, because we're at 4, and like you said, he's not going home in this elimination as long as CT is going in. And I think based on how you think the next episode would go, even if they make it like another guy's elimination or a double or something, they might end up getting cut off at some point in the next episode. And so I feel like there's a chance that Josh is going to have a cry during next episode and still be on the episode after that, which would give him 2 more, maybe be up to 6, and then we're a cry away.
So let me go this route with you. How many more episodes do we have? 8?
8.
And we need 3 to hit the over?
Yes.
I will feel 1,000% confident that the over hits until there's 2 episodes left and we need 3. Because even if it was we need 3 and there's 3 episodes to go, at that point in time, Josh has cracked. Josh has officially cracked. I think he's starting to crack now, which we'll probably end up with double-digit cry episodes.
Could you imagine?
Well, he didn't cry during the challenge, did he? It seemed like he might have been close a couple times. I don't know.
Whoa! Before we, Jesse Adams just wrote. Just remember, guys, we don't actually have 19 episodes. That can't be right. Right? 19?
We're close to the end, even though there's 20 people left. It seems like.
God. Oh. All right.
So we're at 4 cries.
Yes.
Okay. Elimination, or is there anything else to say about Lolo? I think we've kind of covered it. Take care. Hope to see you never. I think my only last thought on Lolo is you bring her on for Champs vs. Pros, which is like the perfect thing to bring her on to. It's a nice little spinoff. You have athletes, all that. You have Tia Blanco. You bring Lolo on, and you see how she is, and she's intense. She's in your face. She's a good competitor and all that, but she's just kind of crazy. And so from that, I think it was enough to bring her on to a full season, which is what this was, to give her a run, see how she's like. And now after this season, I think you're done with her. Like you bring on someone who came on, see how they do. We're done. No more.
I think the fact that first off, the fact that the amount of time she said Olympian, then she had the audacity to literally say, "Oh, come see me in the Olympics." I mean, what a brag is that? Like, unbelievable. If you guys cheer like that, here you guys would rock if you're in my stadium cheering. I mean, come on. Shut the hell up. You didn't even beat challengers. You think you're going to win a gold medal? I know she just won a world championship, but you think you're going to win a gold medal in the next Olympics when you just lost to Big T in a swimming contest and I'll grab a pole thing? I mean, I don't know.
She pissed me off so much. Like, the challenge is not Ninja Warrior. It's not a 90 to 100% physical television show. That's not what this is. The reason people crack is because they can't take it mentally. That's what happened with, was it Leo or Michi? Which one quit? I mean, all these stupid rookies that they're bringing on. I've said it again. I will say it time and time again. Regardless of how you want to do this, MTV, just get people on the challenge who want to be on the challenge. I don't give a shit where they come from. I don't give a shit if they came from a singing show or if they're an Olympian or if they've got kids at home. Because guess what? Everyone comes from something when they come on the challenge. But they come on here, the good ones who stay and are entertaining and who compete, they just want to be here. Big T is a prime example. I don't know what the fuck she does off the show. She probably can't lift 20 pounds, but she loves to be on the challenge. You can see it in her smile. You can see it when she wins and she tells everyone you have to have a good time. Lolo's winning and she's just like, all right, Nam, who should we put in? I don't know. I'm just really scared. I don't know what to do. What should we do? Should we listen to CT? Big T wins and says, you guys all have to have fun. Your drinks have to be full. That's what we need. Like, it just pisses me off because on all the ends of the spectrum that MTV is recruited from, whether it be wrestling, whether it be singing, whether it be these other physical challenges or Olympians, that's not it. You've tried a million different things and it's not it. It's wrong. Admit it and move on. Go back to something you've done twice that has made some of the best challengers ever and do it a third time. It baffles me. It really does. Because it literally is like every 2 to 3 episodes, some shit like this happens. And it just pisses me off. I don't want to have to harp on Fresh Meat 3 every single episode. But when shit like this happens, I'm going to.
What's this whole Fresh Meat 3 take?
It's Trev.
All right. Let's keep it going.
It's
God.
You don't like when you apply for a job, you don't apply for a job to like be a cook and then magically say, well, if you gave me a job as like a waiter, yeah, sure, I'll take it. What if they fucking hate being a waiter? Like, get people who want to get on this show, who want to be on the challenge. I don't give a shit if they're on MTV. I don't give a shit if they're doing anything else. Get people on a TV show who want to be on the exact same TV show that they're on. It's not crazy. I'm not crazy.
Well, I'm hoping you guys just love Andy's rant. I mean, we might have to make it just a segment at this point because it's basically every week.
I was supposed to not go on a rant this episode.
Yeah, well, it was about plus 200 for you not to go on a rant, so So what are we thinking? The state of the challenge right now. How are we feeling?
I would say pretty good.
Okay, I'm surprised by that.
I mean, if we're just talking the overall quality of the season, I think we're still pretty good. I think it's still better than collectively better than last season. The past month or so, we had that week trivia episode. We had a weird to be continued episode tonight. So I think we're kind of, stumbling a little bit, but I think it might just be, tied back to that classic middle of this challenge season lull that you usually have. But I still feel pretty optimistic for what we have ahead.
Yeah. I thought you guys would be like, okay, or Andy first. What do you think?
So I need clarification question here. When we talk State of the Challenge, are you referring to this season or are we referring to the challenge?
This season on the challenge.
This season, I'm okay.
Okay. What do you think about the state then?
It's a dumpster fire.
Oh God.
It's a dumpster fire.
What can save it?
All right.
No.
This is what you were doing this for?
No, but it's they're just Trev, you talked about like in production. Like when MTV makes the small things funny, they're really good at that. But when they have something good, like a good elimination that's getting presented to them, but they try to chop it up and they try to edit it, they fuck it up. The challenge in and of itself is a phenomenal idea. You don't have to be throwing in twists like these skulls and the secret agents and the double agents and the undercover agents. You don't have to do that. Just put these people in teams of 2 and have them battle it out. And don't get people from a million different TV shows. Just say, hey, who wants to come on? Like, just go back to the basics. The challenge has been on for 37 seasons now? Like, just go back to the basics. I think challenge is not in a good place. I do think this season's okay, though.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Boogie Brown writes, this season could have easily been 12 episodes, not 19. Could not agree more. I think this whole 90 – I mean, we bring this up all the time, too. The whole 90-minute versus 60-minute. I mean, I'll keep it short and sweet. I mean, obviously, the 60-minute – no, 30 minutes back in the day was wild. 60 minutes is the perfect time that they need. So maybe they got to make some MTV filler time for, about 125 hours of ridiculousness. They need a little stretch extra, They might run out of episodes or something. But I just think – I don't know. The other thing is I'm just worried they're going to start pushing in. I mean, some of you guys tweeted at us earlier today and stuff, and we saw with the whole we want the OGs or sequel or whatever. I mean, that trailer came out. I'll ask you guys in the chat. What do you guys think about that?
We'll get into that.
God, enough, Alex. We're at it right now. Chat. What do you guys think about we want the whole OGs thing? I'm fine with it. I think it's really weird it's on Paramount and not on TV. But Andy, what's your take on it?
I was just gonna ask if you were talking about the trailer that came out for Paramount. But obviously that's the case. They're missing MTV's missing the boat here. Like you don't have to get these washed up 40-year-olds because they're gonna come on and guess what? They're not as hot. They don't like to have as much fun. They don't like to drink. They inherently won't cause as much drama because of those reasons. It's not going to be good TV. Like, yeah, it'll be a little nostalgic. That shit's going to wear off. You just have to get a fresh batch of people. You really do. And you're pulling from the wrong places. I'm just going to leave it. No, but like, again, it's just they're missing the boat on what they need to do. That's what I think. That's what I think.
Alex?
Yeah, I'm a big challenge fan. We all are here. Everybody in the chat is. We love challenge content. From the start of this, 6 months ago, when we heard that there were rumors of this potentially being a thing and all that, the OGs project, whatever, I never really was excited about it, and I'm still not. Like Andy said, it just doesn't interest me. And like we love the show, we love the franchise, we love anything we can get. But like this, I don't know. Like seeing people haven't been this show that we watch every season for 10 years is not going to be fun. They're all going to be 40 years old. Who knows what kind of challenges they're going to be? They might be like carnival games. Like they're not going to be. I don't know. I
feel like it's going to be very Champs vs. Stars elimination challenge-esque, right?
Yeah. Like they're doing this solely out of nostalgia, which is great, and that's why like they're getting some positive buzz on social media, and everyone's like, "Oh, I can't wait to see Big Easy get back out there." And then after one episode or two episodes, they're gonna be like, "Oh, wait, Big Easy got even bigger, but now he doesn't like to drink, and now he doesn't like to have fun." Like these aren't the same people that we saw last. They're not, and I think we're gonna get a rude awakening for it. I think it's honestly gonna come back to bite the challenge in the ass. Like
you do?
Not only do I not think it's I'm not excited about it, I think it's a bad move for them, like holistically. I think they're gonna look back on this and be like, shit.
I mean, I don't know. I it doesn't hurt, I feel like. You might as well try one season.
I disagree, Trev. That's what you just because do you get what I'm saying? Like, I think they're gonna do this, and like by the end of it, no one's gonna be watching. And they're just going to be like, fuck, why did we do this?
I agree. See, I agree with both of you. Because I think by the end of it, it's going to be a complete bust. But I don't think it's really going to hurt anything, mainly because of the fact that they're putting it out on Paramount Plus. Like, it's not, whereas
Paramount Plus is also the future of CBS All Access. So.
The Champs vs. Stars series was like very like close, like tied to the challenge. It was a spinoff of the challenge. A lot of the same people at the time. It was on MTV and all that. Whereas this is like completely different streaming service and all that. So I feel like they try to kind of disconnect it as much as they can while still grabbing the audience that they're going for.
Yeah. So it's basically a 70-30 no. Are you excited? 70-30 no. All right, Alex, segments. What else we got?
We're good for the episode, right?
Yeah, I mean.
To be continued.
Yeah, I mean, our review will be short, and we're just going to cut the feed right now.
All right, so you guys ready for a couple segments?
Yep.
All right, first one, this day in challenge history. There's two different ones, or I think they're both going to go pretty quickly. It's not Battle of the Bloodlines, because Battle of the Bloodlines is now done. The first one is not a trivia question, but I had to bring it up when I saw that this was what we're talking about here. Episode 8 of X's 2. This was when Leroy and Naya won the challenge, and they're talking to Wes and Teresa at the table.
One of the best scenes of all time.
Do you remember this one, Trev?
The which part? I didn't hear what you said. I was typing the stuff in. It was the Wes, the gun scene. Are you talking about?
Yes.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
What's the question?
There is no question. It's
not a question. I just wanted to bring up. Hold on. Tell me if you guys can hear this.
I just showed Leroy how the gun works.
All I could hear was I just showed Leroy how the gun works.
Yeah.
That's all you needed to hear, though.
God, I mean, is that it?
That's it. I mean, we have it. I in my mind, greatest political move of challenge history.
All right.
Maybe. Unless.
If you count, take the money and run.
Yeah.
I don't know if you do count that.
Why?
Because
according to Sarah, he hyped her up the entire season.
It's not. It wasn't a political. All right. Well, besides that, is there anything else?
I mean, maybe Jordan and Sarah throwing in bananas the season before. That was kind of ruthless.
That was a good move.
I mean, I said that I think that's one of my favorite scenes of all time. Not even just political moves.
What, Leroy?
Yeah. Like that whole scene of when Leroy's sitting there and he's just like terrified. And he's just like.
When he's in charge.
He's like, why do I feel like you're the power couple?
God. All right, what other questions we got?
Next question we have is the season is Battle of the Sexes.
Oh God.
My question is who got eliminated? But the hint I'm going to give is that the season was in 2003, but it's somebody who still competes today.
Veronica.
Trev, you got a guess?
That would be my guess. That's the only person I can think of.
Mark Long.
She still competes like today.
Anissa?
Yeah.
Dang.
2003. She got eliminated 18 years ago. And she's still doing this shit.
Dang, Boogie. Look at the Anissas in the chat. Boogie was number 1, though. Love by You coming in second, Jesse Adams in third.
Well done by chat.
So we'll give Boogie Brown the Lolo Jones gold medal for tonight.
I don't know if he wants it.
Damn it, Boogie. People are pissed.
God.
Boogie versus the world.
Well, that was, aside from MVP, LVP, that was the only segment I had tonight because I did want to bring up the whole spinoff thing, which we already touched on.
God. And still getting eliminated. God. What else we got? Just MVP, LVP now? We're good to go?
I think so.
So, chat, hit us up. The order you guys want us MVP, LVP. Yeah.
I think this one might be a little tougher to come up with options because of the fact that we didn't get an elimination round.
Yeah.
I feel like usually you have, at least an option for MVP and LVP just on the results of that.
I think I'm going to have at least 1 or 2 honorable mentions. Because I came up with a couple for both of them that I really like.
Andy, Trev, Alex is the first one I see, but I also saw Andy last.
So do I just get bumped to the last and we go Trev, Alex, Andy?
Or
Andy, Trev, Alex. Oh my God, these people. It looks like I'm solidified in the middle. Is that fair?
Let's go Andy, Trev, Alex then, because we got 2 votes for that, and then Andy will be last for LVP.
All right, Andy, MVP, take it away.
My MVP is going to be. This was the one that I had 2 front runners for this. My MVP is going to be CT.
Ooh.
He came in, he showed out, and granted, there could be another pick for someone very close to CT, but I think the fact that CT won with Big T was great. I think the fact that he's been with her this whole time has been awesome, good for him. I really like how he's driving that team and doing a really good job doing it. Probably the best teammate that we've seen so far this season. And I had, and we've talked about this for a while, but we had Darrell and CT in the same camp, just in terms of they were both playing this game kind of like cowards. CT made it very clear. It might have been last episode. It was definitely all this episode. I want to go in. I need to get my skull. And guess what? He got his chance, and I'm sure he's going down there. And he's going down there against, even though it's someone in his alliance, it's someone who I think he'll probably beat. So, CT, he's my MVP.
Yeah. Before I announce my MVP, I do want to bring up one thing that Justin just wrote. The whole Fezzi thing. Have we talked about him at all tonight? Is this the first time? I don't think I've said his name once.
Whose name?
Fezzi.
I don't think so. I mean, because we kind of skipped over him quickly for the challenge because Anissa went home, or because Anissa dropped in the water. I
don't think he said his name.
Yeah, Fezzi didn't do a whole lot.
But you know what? He did still manage to piss me off.
Who?
I felt Fezzi.
Who?
Fezzi. He went to the University of Tennessee. But even though he got very limited screen time, he still pissed me off. Just because every single thing he says, He thinks he's a badass. He thinks he's the shit. Chattanooga. Guess what? He didn't even play at University of the City. So, like, he just, even though he got no screen time, he still pissed me off. Trev, who's your pick? What do you got?
My MVP has got to be the legend herself, Big T. I mean, her performance tonight, and I think it just one of the most incredible things is she helped CT tremendously. She could have punched CT's ticket to the final. I mean, realistically, that was one of the best moves she's ever done, and I'm happy for her, honestly. And I think, and I bring this up all the time, moments that stick out from the season, this literally could have solidified herself for another 2-3 seasons tonight. She cares, she tries, and that's the thing. You look at like a Lolo Jones, she might be more athletic. She might have everything, the whole package. But what do we enjoy more? What do you guys in the chat like more? Big T. I mean, it's the girl who breaks her toe after she wins an elimination or a challenge, last season. It goes home because of it. It's her walking out in the black leather jacket with the shades on. It's stuff like that that makes the show. It's not the little, oh, I don't want the best athletes in the world. You don't want that. So it's got to be Big T. Her performance tonight, she killed it, and I just love her. She's awesome. Great for TV.
Great pick, Trev.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You guys had I think the two most popular picks of the night, Big CT. I as you took Big T, and rightfully so, I was just rattling my brain trying to think of somebody that I could pick from the episode. And like we said, there really was not a whole lot to happen. A lot of times, LVPs are easier to pick from anyway. So I think for my MVP of the night, if I can't go CT, can't go Big T, I'm going to go back to the YouTube live chat.
Wow.
And we've had a good night tonight. And I think specifically, the past 2 to 3 weeks, the chat has been particularly popping. We got a lot of interaction on Twitter and all that. You got Jesse, Mikey the Doctor, Boogie, Ryan McCord, Jesse Adams, that challenger. We got some new people too. I think Justin might be a little new to this. Bradley Abson, Loved by You, obviously. Like we said from the start, like even when the episode is just average, like I think we agree this one is, the chat shows out. We try to show out for the chat, and all of that. So I think MVP of the season, if we're doing non-challengers, would probably be the chat. But I think, this episode in particular, good interaction from the chat past few weeks. So I'm going episode 11, MVP, the live chat.
Let me add just a little bit that I've noticed on the chat, especially today and also over the past couple weeks. They're picking up with how we do this. Like when we ask them questions, they are right in it. If one of us, I don't know who likes to go on rants, but if some people go on rants, they chime in like spot on, and then when we get back on the tracks, they get back on the tracks too. The chat has just been on fire recently. Love to see it. All right, Alex, LVPs, you starting us off?
My LVP, I think I'm just going to take the easy pick, I guess. I'm going to go Lolo.
Wow.
And I think – so last episode was 10, so we kind of talked about potentially doing last week like some mid-season awards, and I think we didn't get to it, but I think if you would have done, halfway through this season of the challenge, MVP.
Well, before you say it, should we save that after this? Should we do some MVP LVPs mid-season after we give this episode? I mean, it's only been like 58 minutes. It's kind of been a short pod.
Okay. All right. My LVP for the episode is Lolo.
Wow. No reason?
Because this episode, she quit.
Wow. All righty. So my LVP tonight, and it's solely on one thing, and it's got to be production and editing for my LVP. And I just think we kind of hinted at it earlier. When you give us basically what I'm trying to think of the word, the next on scene, and it says, this double agent or whatever. What's the word? What's the exact term is coming on? It's a
Security breach.
Security breach. Sorry, security breach. It's a security breach, and we don't get any other info. Like, I mean, we literally knew that last week at this time. Like, that's where I get pissed. Like, how about just not showing that? Like, if they would have cut that before, I would have been fine. But the fact that you gave us that information, nothing happened. I was disappointed. I'm a huge fan of to be continued episodes, but at least like make it that we want to watch the next episode. Like there was really nothing. Was there anything that wants you to be like, oh, this twist is wild or anything? No, at least tell us the twist and have the people walk out. So I don't know. That's my pick. Production. What else is new? We could run the show better.
Yeah, no shit. All right, am I bringing us home for LVP?
Correct.
If you guys don't have any complaints, I'll also start us then with honorable mentions because I've got 2 LVPs that I really, really like here.
Okay.
Obviously, Lolo was a no-brainer, and Trev, your pick was great as well. Here's my pick, and we haven't talked about this person, I don't think, a single time yet on this episode. My LVP for tonight is going to be Nani. Nani had the perfect opportunity to potentially go in against Big T for a gold skull. And she put up a fight. When Leroy went to Nani and said, hey, there's talks of Josh, she should have said, you know what? That's fine because that also puts me down in there. Josh said he's ready to fight for it. So you know what? That's what CT wants. Let's do it. Why would she not do that? Like the fact that she – keep in mind, and granted, we've talked about this multiple times. It's not a surprise that Nani plays one of the most scared games of anyone ever. But, like, this was the perfect – it could not have been more perfect scenario where she doesn't have to get any blood on her hands. She doesn't have to do anything wrong, but she gets a beautifully gifted silver plate of here's your gold skull, here's Big T. It might not – it's either going to be one of 2 options. A guy's elimination and you don't have to worry about anything, or it's a girl's elimination and you bulldoze Big T in whatever you go against. Like it could not have been a more and it was brought to her. She didn't go out there and say it. Leroy comes to her. Like that whole conversation, I was losing my mind because I was just like, Nani, what are you doing? Like, this is it. And it was just like such a missed opportunity in my book. And I think it gets overlooked. But it was like, it couldn't have been easier. So yeah. She's my LVP.
What were your honorable mentions too?
Obviously, Josh. I mean, he's got to be an honorable mention for anything. The goof. I mean, when you are so just fucking – you can call it goofy. You can call it unathletic. You can call it just an idiot. Like when you are that bad where the point where MTV production has to make a name tag for you that says the goof, I mean, you got to be kidding me. And during the challenge when he does the –
it's like the Spider-Man thing.
It was. He was doing it like with himself. I mean, it was hilarious.
It's like, you going to grab that?
And then, I mean, obviously you get the Josh cry and he stinks. I do have one more. And
but Andy, remember, friend of the program.
He's friend of your guys' program.
I'd watch
it.
Conversation would have been different if I was on.
Watch
it. My last one is I've got another LVP honorable mention, Darrell, just because everything we've talked about today, he's playing such a scared game. CT's starting to want to bring it. Darrell's not, like, at all. He's not looking good at all, and he doesn't sound good. And then my last honorable mentions for MVP is Devin. Just because I love Devin. Like, Devin's still, like, when he was going on his little tangent about, I know I'm annoying, I know no one likes to get along with me. Keep in mind, do you guys remember that little, like, it was like a full-on, like, 30-second to, like, 60-second confessional That was right before he just bullies Josh into the ground about missing the rope. And, like, granted, he still, like, missed it himself, but it was just hilarious, and I loved it. That's all I got.
My honorable mention is going to be that challenger for sending us that tweet of the goof.
Love
I mean, you gotta be kidding me.
I don't know how I missed that, but I love that. Thank you, that challenger.
That is just so classic. My other honorable mentions, I think everybody else kind of said everything, so I'm actually good. Alex, what do you got?
That's all I got. Or are we going to do any mid-season?
Yeah, I say we do mid-season. I say for this order we reverse it.
Or should we let the fans choose again?
All right, well, who cares? Let's let the fans choose again.
So, change it to season MVP, LVP now. So we're basically doing, the halfway awards. And just a little preview for the fans who are new this season. When we do the full season recap, I think Trev and I have done maybe 3 seasons now. We have about 8 or 9 awards that we get into. Yeah. We'll save the full slate of them for the end of the season. So I think tonight we'll just do a quick MVP, LVP halfway through.
Sounds good.
And then the season we got a couple different ones. Season recap itself gets a little off the rails.
All right, so what order are we going with? The first one I saw twice was Trev, Andy, Alex. We go with that?
That's fine.
Okay, so you want me to start off?
Yeah, MVP.
I should go ahead?
Go ahead.
All right. My MVP for this season and how I'm looking at my MVP, LVP, it's how they've done on the season, and 2, will they get asked back? Because I think that's very important. And without a doubt, no, Andy, you disagree with that?
No, go ahead.
My MVP, I think it's going to be a kind of a shocker, is Big T. A double Big T MVP for Trev. I think by far, you look at Big T and you look at her and you're like, what does she bring to the table? And you think absolutely nothing. But her smile, how she thinks she controls everything is awesome. How can you not love it? Her smile, her laugh, everything. It's incredible. I mean, she's killed it this season. She's definitely going to be on multiple seasons. Everybody in the house loves her. Who hates her? I'm trying to think of the word. Who hates her, I guess. And I still have doubts running a final. There's 0% chance she can run a final. She would quit. But that's why I love Big T. She's awesome. How can you hate her? That's my pick for my mid-season.
I like it. I mean, she doesn't have a gold skull, and she probably won't ever get one, but yeah.
It doesn't matter, though.
Yeah.
You know what? When you think back, who's killed it this season? She's killed it. And you know what, Andy? Lolo Jones has a gold medal, but Big T's made it further. So I don't care about if I have a gold skull or not.
Can we draw a conclusion that this has proven it's harder to get a gold skull than it is a gold medal?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing.
Trev, I like the pick.
I'm just trying to be different. I have a couple honorable mentions, but I'll let you guys pick first, obviously.
Yeah, I don't hate the pick.
But I don't love the pick either.
But I don't
want to say Jamarcus Russell, so I won't say anything.
No.
All right. So Trev, my little face there about when you said it's also based on if they're going to come back or not. I kind of view it as it should inherently already be there.
What I'm saying is, if they're let's say, like a GM of a team that's kind of on the bubble or whatever, maybe getting fired, maybe like a 500 GM, like a 34-35 GM that needs to win in this time. And in this season, she's won, and she's earned the respect. in the time when she needed to win, she needed to win. And that's
Yeah. No. I get what you're saying. My biggest reason for the face was I feel like that's implied. Like if you're giving an MVP to someone, they are probably going to be coming back. And if there's an LVP, there's a chance they might not.
But I think it's like a person like Landon, for example. He could kill the entire season, but he's not good for TV. He's not playing for anything, to be on the show. So that's how I look at it.
Fair point.
Andy, go. MVP.
My MVP, I thought you were going to take, Trev, because I love how this person has played the game. My MVP is going to be Kyle. I love Kyle. He's good. He's gotten better every season, and he's got his school. He's got one of the best partners in the game, and she has a school. His ticket to the final has been punched a long, long time ago, and at the same time, he's incredibly fun to watch. He's got great confessionals. He likes to have a good time. He's always in the mix of the drama. I love Kyle. He's been having a great season in my mind.
Good pick. Alex.
Kyle's a great pick. Kyle was actually my second overall pick. Could defend him, endlessly. But my first pick is still on the board, and I think I have to take him at this point for mid-season MVP. I'm going to go Devin. And, we've kind of touched on it all season. We have never been the biggest Devin fans. But just without Bananas and with Wes going home early, he's kind of had the chance to show what he has by himself. And he's really succeeded with it. Having Kyle as his, sort of, I don't even want to say sidekick because they're really the same quality of competitor. Kyle's probably a little bit better. But just Devin, what he's done for TV, especially being able to egg on the Fezzies, Joshes of the world so easily. Devin, I feel has just killed it. And not only, the fact that he has a gold skull, he's with Gabby, so who knows what will happen there. But I think overall, he's in a good spot. He has a skull. I'm going MVP midseason, Devin.
Good pick. LVP, Alex.
Real quick, just going back to my MVP of the episode, which was the YouTube live chat for anybody listening on the podcast. Just remember that we do the YouTube live stream right after each episode, completely free. Okay. My LVP of the season, I think, is also pretty easy for my first pick. I'm just going to go Fezzy. Sorry. I'm going Fezzy. We heard all season last year and this season that he went to the he played football at the University of Tennessee. And he has his gold skull and everything, Chattanooga. Well, he threw himself in against Nelson, somebody that was on his side. And remember back when Fezzy refused to go into that elimination against Jared, I think his name, American Idol. Just a bad look from the beginning. So overall, he just kind of pissed us all off. I'm going LVP Fezzy.
Well, let's not forget something about, because I love that pick. I had Fezzy on my list as well. Let's not overlook the fact that he was the reason that Nelly T is out of the game.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Is the delay that bad?
Yeah. All right. Is it me for LVP?
Yes.
I thought you were going to take this one. I thought this was a no-brainer. So I got both my first picks. I love it. Easy one for me. First thing I wrote down, quitters.
God.
Dead serious. This is going to be our third security breach or something like that. I mean, they're dropping like flies. It used to be bad, when we would have one quitter in a season, let alone two. And I mean, it's literally every 2 or 3 episodes, someone's losing it, someone's quitting. So I hate that. I think it's so bad for the show. It also screws up the numbers of the fact that all the guys' schools have been given out, but the girls haven't. It's because all the girls keep fucking dropping like flies, whether it's they can't take it or they're pregnant. I mean, someone put an end to this. It's not that hard. So quitters is my LVP very easily.
I'm torn between two people for my LVP. I'm going to go with maybe a who, because you kind of forget this person was on the show. and they weren't eliminated once, but they were eliminated twice. And that's Ashley, a champ coming into the game. Some people, not saying who, might have picked her as, number one in the power rankings for the season or something. But, stuff happens. But to be eliminated not once, but twice in a season, not even before the halfway mark, I mean, it's not a good look. So my honorable mentions, though, and you guys can chime in, is Wes, obviously. People forget he was on the season. And my second honorable mention is going to be the number, it would be like 9.510. The fact that 9.510 is considered mid-season when it should be like the entire season. I think it's ridiculous how we have this many episodes in a season. So that's my honorable mention.
The West was a great pick. Do you have any MVP honorable mentions?
You said Corey, or not Corey, Kyle, excuse me.
I would say Cam and Leroy, just because they haven't
Cam for sure.
They've kind of been controlling the game, first like in the forefront and then kind of in the background once they got their skulls, but they've had their footprints in the whole game.
The thing about Cam and Leroy, yet they've always been in control of the game, but I feel like why we don't necessarily see them as the MVP yet is because they're kind of like taking a back seat almost. They're just kind of letting the game, come to them. But in the end, as Andy was doing to Alex all along, they're just pulling the strings behind the scenes. So
they almost make it like genuinely look too easy.
Exactly.
Like they came in as their number one alliance, obviously. They both got their gold skulls. Leroy took a little bit of time, but they're both on great teams, great competitors with the gold skull. Like, it was just so easy. Alex, you got any LVP honorable mentions?
LVP honorable mentions. I mean, Lolo. I don't think anybody said her for their season pick. Lolo.
Who?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you said, any of the specific quitters could have been options.
What about the singer?
John
Allen? What was his name? John Allen?
Jamal? I feel like he's a good pick just because he made such a big splash in the wrong way. Like, he was just so annoying that one episode or two, and he ended up going home. I feel like that's a good pick.
I've got a couple I want to run by you real quick that have not been discussed for MVP and LVP both. I'll do LVP, then MVP, then LVP. Get a little saucy. So first LVP, I mean, this person's on honorable mention every single week, if not one of the first names taken, and that's Josh. I mean, we have talked about how Josh is just an absolute buffoon for so many years now. And this season, I think it's probably got to be one of his worst in terms of just like him being classic Josh. So I think he's got to be on the list of honorable mention. I've also got Corey. What the hell has Corey done? Except be like the kryptonite to any partner that he gets. Like, how many times do you have to try it before before it works? Like, figure it out, buddy. That was an LVP. I said I was going to go LML. I just went double L's. My last honorable mention is for an MVP, Anissa. We don't talk about Anissa, but guess what? She's got her gold skull. She took out Tori in the process, and she has somehow managed to hitch her wagon to Fezzi all season, aside from like a week. Like, she's played a good game. I think we got to give her credit. I think, as Tori would say, we got to put some respect on her name. She's had a good season so far. Like, do I think she's going to win the final? No chance. But for the first half, she's been pretty good. Good for her.
Dang.
What about
anything else? Who?
Casey?
Oh, Casey's killed it this season. There's a lot of people that have actually killed this
It's basically, you look at who has a skull, and a lot of them can be easy MVPs, and Josh, and a lot of them can be easy MVPs, and then you look at people who don't have skulls, and they're easy LVPs.
The thing about Casey, though, is yes, she's played very well, but it's only like one episode where she gets her skull, and then what else has she technically done?
She's done nothing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yes, she's good. I mean, but like I said, what else does she bring to the table?
Yeah.
So, anything else? Or are we good to wrap this up?
Gabby is bad.
Gabby is bad.
Anything else?
I think we're good. We're at, 11 of 19. I think within the next couple weeks, we're going to start our March Madness bracket. And as you guys saw with some of the, the calendar this day in challenge history, I think that's we won't have as many options or trivia questions for that. So I think we'll start to replace that with the March Madness bracket. And then that'll lead us right into the last few episodes of the season, which should be good on their own. So I think we're in a good spot here, stir the pod wise.
Yeah, very good. So
I think we have to do one more first half MVP honorable mention. And I think we got to go to the AWLs in general, not just the chat. The chat has been phenomenal. It's gotten better every week. But just the AWLs in general, I think they have been phenomenal this season. Glad that even in weeks like this where the episode of the challenge is kind of weak, they're still showing out. They're buzzing in the comments and in the live chat. And we have to give them at least an honorable mention.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
in front runner for season.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And in each episode we get to being done with the season, closer to the finale and everything, we're closer to the off season where we come up with whatever episodes we want to do in the off season, which we'll let you guys know about. We'll tweet it out and all that. We'll bring you guys on. So make sure to follow us on Twitter @StirThePod for all of those updates.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, thank you guys for listening to a brand new Stir the Pod podcast show. I've been your host, Trevor. You can follow us on Twitter @StirThePod. Thank you guys. Love you guys. Shout out Duffy.